Hello, welcome back to another video, and this is where we're looking at another one of our muscle series, and we're looking the first time sort of in the upper body. We've gone through all of the leg regions, or most of the leg muscles, and worked our way up through the torso. Now we're heading to the upper body, and we're going to look at the lats. So a very big, powerful muscle. The lats really does a lot of things throughout the body. Often can lead you into trouble with the shoulders if it develops stiffness along with the pecs. So one of the big areas that we see a lot of problems is around with the trigger points at the back of the muscle here, where I'm showing you a little trigger point tool to, before you do anything in all these videos so far, before you just go straight to strengthening and trying to annihilate the muscle, you really want to make sure you have good mobility to be able to move correctly before you can do it. And often more so you see trigger points in the shoulder and neck and the upper back region, more so than you do in the lower body. There's just so many more moving pieces. The scapula itself is such a unique joint. Just requires multiple muscles, and trigger points easily develop around here. So sometimes stretching doesn't help at all. Sometimes it even makes it worse. So you have to be a little bit more creative. You have to really investigate trigger points. So I'm looking for a trigger point here, which is sort of around the infraspinatus and the Teres muscles, and they're part of your rotator cuff, and they're sitting right around near the top of the lat there. So you can sort of see how my lat could really be contributing to a lot of problems for my shoulder, where I'll start to pronate or internally rotate my shoulder inwards all the time, which then gives me all sorts of problems with around the shoulder, leading to impingements and rotator cuff tears and all sorts of things. So basically, before I start trying to annihilate myself, I'm going to make sure there's no trigger points there. If I'm certain that I've done that, even if there are there, I can still do things. I just might need to use that type of drill between sets. Next thing I want to look at is I want to make sure that I've got mobility also in my thoracic region. So I want to be sure that I've got the flexibility through my lats, which I'm showing you a stretch here, that because I want to get my arm overhead, but it's really determined by my thoracic extension ability as well. If I don't have thoracic extension, I'll never be able to really develop my lats to what I need them to be. So you can see here, this is quite a simple drill using a Swiss ball, and there's my lat there working right up through there, and it's sort of working in tandem with the tricep, which is why you always feel it in a lat pull down or a chin up. And you see here my thoracic spine has to maintain sort of some good extension for me to be able to get my hand on the ball. The ball's very handy here because it's round and you can maneuver it, and I can basically roll it inwards. And if you notice just before I did that, where my hand or I have my thumb facing up, a lot of people will place the hand palm down on the ball. You really want to have it like this, because this externally rotated position is already stretching the lat, because the lats, when they contract, will internally rotate you. So by externally, always having your thumb up when you're doing these sort of releasing things makes a big difference to the effectiveness of mobilizing it. So you've got full mobility to execute the movement that you're looking to strengthen with. All right. Here's another version of thoracic extension drill that you can try. It's a bit of a tricep stretch in some regard as well, but I'm not really, it's my go-to one, but it can be useful for some people where, if they're really struggling to reverse that kyphosis, and really you can leverage the bench quite well because you're horizontal. So as you can see here, I've got I'm still maintaining that good extension through my upper back, and then really releasing. There's my lats and my triceps together there, which is the overhead movement that I'm looking for, when I'm doing lat pull down or chin ups or so forth. So, it can be a useful drill that you could try. You can see how it works for you. You see how, as I'm leveraging, pulling that bar down, my body's trying to sink downward here. All right. So that's another way you could try to improve your mobility through that region. Let's have a look at a couple others. So once I've done the lat sort of stretching, I might look at my thoracic rotation. All right, so I'll look at this is a simple drill here where I've very much, if there's a lot of stiffness around the top of the shoulders here and the neck as well, or even around the scapula, I'm going to have a lot of trouble being able to perform this, which means I'm going to have a lot of trouble trying to do some of the exercises. So I'll look at the top quadrant of the thoracic region and also the bottom one. So, if I draw off for you here, there's sort of like 4 areas, the top half and then the bottom half. Basically, this is a really good drill to use as a test to work out where your stiffness is hiding, so you can focus on it. All right, so quite a clever way to improve. The test itself becomes a good exercise, more or less, and you can really compare left and right with this drill to see what's going on. I also might want to look at this before I move on. I might use like a downward dog sometimes, which is sort of like bringing in thoracic extension but in the push-up pose, and this will sort of lead into the next one that I'm going to show you. So I'm going to show you a video of a girl who does it way better than me, so let's have a look at hers. Okay, so here's an example of using the downward dog. Again, in a closed chain push-up position. This is quite a good way to, you can see here, this is an excellent example of the downward dog. You can really see how she's really loosened right up through there, maintaining good thoracic extension, but most importantly still keeping the neutral lumbar curve. That's for me where there's a bit of stiffness in the posterior chain. You'll see that real loss of curve there, and maybe even bending the knees there. The knees are really straight. This is about as good as it gets on the downward dog. All right, but it's another way that you can bring in a bit of mobility into the lats region to prepare for the overhead movement. So really, any stiffness through here really going to ruin your ability to get overhead like this. All right, so let's have a look at another one. Right, so we've checked out her video. Now let's have a look at me continuing on with a couple of these other drills. All right, so this first one I'm basically going to try and execute some serratus anterior pushing. So that's what I was doing there. So if I just take that back for you because it's hard to see it. Basically all I'm doing is I'm retracting my shoulders and then pushing up. All right, so you see how I set that shoulder, as you'll see it when I'll talk you through it. There we go. So once I'm getting set up here, now I'll retract my shoulders right there, and then I pushed up. So that pushing up where I flatten it out, then I'm just going to do some basic stability, single arm stability. This is your little bird dog or horse stance. So the arm left on the ground is the stability side, and then once I've got that, then I can move into a slightly harder version where I'm going to move right around through into the thoracic extension again, rotation, sorry, where I've got a lot more strength required on the arm left on the ground. So a lot more intense type of a drill, but it guarantees that I'm going to be able to work through my thoracic region so that I can start to execute things that are going to activate the lat. This is more of a drill for serratus anterior, but you've got to remember the lats and the pecs will overpower serratus anterior. So we're trying to ensure before we just start strengthening the muscle itself that we don't ruin anything else around it. All right, so because we're going to need that later on for some of the other things. All right, so now we're going to look at some of the strengthening things. So this first one is very simple exercise. Again, I could use many exercises. I'm just showing you some of them, because this could go for 2 hours if we included everything. I'm just showing you some of the ones that are that have a nice functional capacity to it. If I use dumbbell rows and that, like I'm sort of going non-functional, I can strengthen things, but I want to show you more things in standing positions. So this first one is the standing cable row, but it'll start out easy, and that's where you see the thoracic rotation become involved again. Right, so right here as I'm reaching for it, you'll see there's my lats starting to expand. Obviously rowing things get a lot more work in the middle traps, rhomboids and all that as well, but this reaching part, see how when I'm really reaching for it, brings the lats into it more. So this is the easy one, and there's my rotation that's involved with it at the same time. Once I've got the hang of that, then I can start to make it even more functional where I bring in the legs involved, and again I get a little bit more reach. So this is where I start to add the weight shift. All right, you'll see as I get more into this how much further I'll start to reach for it and get more pull through the lats to try and pull it back. This is where the weight feels heavier when you do it this way. All right, so there's the reach. See how I'm almost in a straight line now. All right, and there's this lat is really opened up, and there's my thumb up. So So my hand's externally rotated, the lats are on their full stretch, and the advantage I have, it's functional because I can use my leg. So I'm using leg and I've got full rotation as well. So it's a great exercise for introducing. Very, very simple, can't really screw it up too much. Now I'm going to look at the lat pull down, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. This is I'll always prefer this one, well, not always, but for most people I will probably choose this one first over the chin-ups because it's easier to manipulate the weight and they can gain more control. So obviously technique out of this. So an overhand grip is usually preferred one with this. I can do close grips and hold it in closer just like I can with chin-ups, but I'll prefer to go this overhand grip. And there's there's my full stretch of my lats again. All right, so and then again, the very simple exercise. You don't want to do the behind the neck one ever. Making sure that you can see, like if I didn't have, this comes back to the beginning, if I didn't have the thoracic extension here or the flexibility through my lats, this exercise is now compromised, and that's where I'm going to cheat. That's where some people develop neck pain and pinch things, get trigger points. Don't find even develops elbow problems from some of these things as the forearms try to overcome the lack of good stability of the scapula as it's trying to move into this upward rotation. All right, so that's why you always work on those things first to make sure that you can do these exercises without creating pain. All right, so once I've done the pull downs, now I can work into my chin-ups. All right, so this is where you've got different versions. Again, I can go use different grips on the chin-up. So the close grip is my preferred one with most people because they're just not very strong. The close grip is always the strongest one, the strongest grip to use, just because you can get your pecs helping, and mainly it's just because your shoulder's in close. And there's my lats under stretch again, all right, under here. So when my hand is on the open grip, which we'll look at in a minute, it's a lot harder. So a lot more strength in this one. Obviously abdominals get heavily involved. I can really mess around with the grip, so I can go that close grip to a reverse grip. They're all going to still work the lats. None work the lats more than others. It's just you're stronger because you get more muscles involved and more. It's just better mechanical leverage. All right, so there's our reverse grip, and you just make sure. It's a lot harder. I've done many videos on chin-ups before, so check the description below because there's articles with all of those videos in there for you. So lastly, we're going to look at this wide grip. Now, first thing I'm going to talk about this, right, because this comes up a lot. People believe that if they have this wider grip, that they're going to activate the lats more and they're going to make it stronger. That's not true. All you're really going to likely do is just create more trouble for your shoulder because it's so unstable. See how far wide. This is why the close grip that we just looked at is so much stronger because your arm's in close. It's much more strong and stable here. Once you start going out wide like this, it's really unstable, and if you've got your whole body weight hanging on it, these ligaments and tendons, and they're really under a lot of stress. Some people might get away with it, but most people do not. All you end up doing is just creating a lot of problems into the shoulder. So what I'm showing you here is just try to find where your grip is right for you. There's no one-size-fits-all grip that's for everyone. Just find your grip and work with where you feel the most comfortable. So for me, I'm probably around about there, and then I'll just go straight up into my pull-up. All right, so this is a lot harder version. You can see the stress on the shoulder here is immense. All right, and that's where you can get a lot of problems through the scapula, riding up into the neck. If you're strong enough and your technique's fine, it's a great exercise. If not, you're probably best to go back to the lat pull down and work on the overhand grip with that for a while. Develop your mobility, build up your strength slowly. Maybe go with the close grip chin-ups for a while before trying these overhand grips. Maybe use bands. Maybe do eccentric chin-ups, so that's another good way. So if I just take this back, eccentric chin-up would be where if I'm doing this one. So when I come up, I would basically just try to take 5 seconds to come down. I would come down like really slow, like this. So it'd be 3, 4, 5, and then I'd be almost at my full extension, and then I'd get someone to either boost me up, or I just have a box behind me, stand off it. I just do some people call it negative chin-ups or negative reps, but they're just called eccentric. That's a great way to build some strength when you're not strong enough. So either resistance bands or using these negative reps can be a really good way to build strength when you're not quite strong enough to get up there. All right, so anyway, that's how we build strength into our lats. Obviously, like I said, we could keep going with more exercises. We could even show you like how it's used as a stabilizing type muscle within things like deadlifts and whatnot, but it's not really building strength in it. It's just like working in its other capacity, but it's not truly its strengthening exercise. All right, so yeah, just always make sure you work through your mobility stuff first, and if you do that, you'll have great fun and get great results. All right, I'll hope you've enjoyed that. We'll see you on the next video.